Good morning. It's the first day of the voyage to Catalina Island, and Mark is outside. I think he's getting the canvas ready. He got coffee. Always check if the boat is pissing.
Check the nav lights.
Do you need navigation in order to get out of the marina? That's important.
No, but I like to set it so I can get a heading once we're out. So I set it up now so it's a lot easier.
Pretty sophisticated electronics in order just to cross over to a land body that we can see with
One
our
that you
eye.
can just see with your eye. Yeah. We may not see it with our eye when we get out there. I mean, there's a little bit of a cloud cover. Bow lines are off. Water's topped off. Fuel's topped off. Oil changed. Filters changed. Transmission oil has been changed. She's provisioned. All the electronics are on and burning electricity. So everything's all set. We've got our waypoints dialed in. Engine's warmed up. Coffee's been brewed. 5:27. Right on time. We were planning to leave for 5:30 a.m. depart. We've got the Admiral at the tiller. Didn't get the launch on video, but it really doesn't matter because she made it look so easy. It was pretty boring. And you are clear to starboard. So the one thing about the Dana 24, and there really aren't a lot of things I don't like. I mean, it's a small boat, so you deal with this, the constraints of storage and multiple people walking on top of each other. And if you have issues with the head, that kind of thing, that can get a little sketchy. But the throttle and the gear shifter are right there in the cockpit. There's not a lot of room, so people hit it all the time. I don't worry as much about people hitting the throttle as I do about people kicking it out of gear or into gear.
Whoa. I don't know if it shows on here how big these swells are. They seem like monsters to me.
No, it's just coming up on 6 a.m. Just chatted a little bit with Ohana. They've got their main up. They put it up a few minutes ago. And sounds like it is helping them out a little bit. Wind's mostly on the nose. So we are going to raise the mainsail, and Debbie is taking these sail straps off. Okay, 7 a.m. update. We're still 35.5 miles out. It's been going a little bit slower. We took a tack, so we're rolling around 270 degrees. Now we're at about 220. There's a little bit of a shift, so we're headed down quite a bit. We'll probably have to throw in another tack at some point today, but this gets us more offshore, and I think we'll be more in the lee of Catalina as the wind comes up. There is a small craft advisory here. We were that about an hour ago.
Here's Mark pulling the line.
Which line?
For the staysail.
$50 per mile. Small curve advisory remains in effect from 3 p.m. this afternoon to 3 a.m. Monday.
Okay, 10 a.m. update. We're still motor sailing, main only. We pulled down the staysail just because the wind died. It's been kind of flaky. We got a couple of pretty good shifts, but the wind was pretty light, so really couldn't get the staysail to work without really having to bear off a lot. So we just put it down. So it's 10 to 11. We're right in the buffer zone, about midway between the northbound and southbound coastwise shipping lanes. So there is a boat, looks like it's headed southbound. And as I'm looking at it on AIS, he's over here. That's the, what is it? The let's take a look at this. The Chemtrans Star. So he's doing 12.1 knots. He's a little ways away. Looks like he's about 6.5, 7 miles away. Headed to Lázaro Cárdenas, Mexico. And he's 748 feet length, 109 feet beam, and 26.2 feet draft. So if we're halfway through doing about 4.2 knots, we've got about a half hour until we're on the other side of the shipping lane, and he's got about a half hour till he bears down on us. So it's 11:13. I thought the smarter thing to do would be to cut behind the Chemtrans Star in the shipping lanes, so get an idea of where he's at. So he's relatively close now, but I shifted a good, I'd say 40, 50 degrees to make sure I was well clear of his stern. Okay, I just saw I think this is a Mola Mola maybe right here on the port side.
That big boat there?
Yeah, look right here, right? What is that? Is that a shark or Mola Mola? I'm guessing a Mola Mola. Noon update, 13 miles and some change, 2 harbors, got a little bit of traffic. Looks like those guys are towing their dinghy behind them. Before we get to the 3-mile limit of Catalina, it's a good time to empty the head. So underneath this lazarette is a pump, and I'll open up the through hole. Grab that. All right, so the through hole valve's open, and then gotta watch this. This is the coolant reservoir. It's a little warm as expected. So you keep doing this, and you try not to breathe if you can. So it's super pleasant exercise, but it's better than having your head full. Yep. One peeled off. Are they gone? Some kind of a sea life sighting about 150 yards. Looks like dolphins.
Slow moving dolphin.
I mean, are they like a pilot whale or something? I don't want to get any closer and bother them. (2:07 p.m. update. So we're a little over 3 miles. Here, there's Bird Rock. This guy offshore is sailing. We are hoping we can get a mooring here. The wind picked up quite a bit. It's pretty flat because I think we're mostly in the shadow of the island. So it's not too bad. It was getting gusty in here, pretty significantly compared to what we've seen the rest of the day. So kind of what we expected. 2 o'clock, it's about right. Winds might pick up a little bit, so hopefully we can get a mooring, and also that the wind dies down when we get in there. So we'll continue to kind of ramp through this, just to make it a little bit easier, because we knew the wind was picking up. We did double reef the main, so it's a single sheet reefing, which doesn't keep the best sail shape, but basically the halyard and the second reef line are right here. As long as you let the vang out, you can dial it in. You don't have to get out of the cockpit. It's pretty nice. Getting a little closer to the Isthmus here, 2 harbors. There's a better view of Bird Rock and Ship Rock over there. So it's just about 4 o'clock, tied up at 2 harbors. My biggest concern was getting a mooring. We didn't have any problems getting a mooring. We're in the same row about 6 over from where Ohana's gonna tie up. So not the cleanest mooring pickup in the world, but hey, we didn't hit anything and we're tied up. So already had our first beer and snack of some ramen noodles. Inflated the dinghy. It's not a particularly easy task on the foredeck.
Oh, you're mad skilled with this rowboat. Oh my god.
Only restaurant bar at 2 harbors. Really getting. Cheers. We're at the dinghy dock here at 2 harbors. And I think I should talk about this a little bit. Or not really, but here's the dinghy and here's the dock. Hence, dinghy dock. You can see Garibaldis from up here and stuff like that, which are pretty cool. They're the bright orange fish. LA County lifeguard. We haven't seen the Hoff yet, or the Rock. Beautiful Sunday morning, Memorial Day weekend. Debbie and I are just chilling out. So we had our coffee on the percolator. Debbie made made breakfast, eggs and ham and mushrooms and zucchini. It's pretty good. Noon update. Debbie and I got our snorkeling gear and we're ready to go snorkeling.
Alright, here we are with Mark, meeting Katie and company. We're about to take our snorkel adventure. And see, let me give you a preview.
All right, so we're at the 2 Harbors campsite. I don't know if there's a name for it or not, but the campsite, it's pretty sweet. So you've got all these campsites, a couple of dry cabins overlooking the water. There's Katie, Anna, Brent.
What's a dry cabin?
Deborah. No plumbing as far as I know,
okay.
Or it's just not wet inside. So we've got all kinds of cooking going on, rumors of s'mores coming up.
Oh yeah. I got the jumbo marshmallows, so you guys get more bang for your s'more buck. A choice, and or like yeah.
Beautiful evening with a full moon. Mark rowing his little heart out. Just had dinner with friends. Good time. Looking at the pirate ship over there. That's pretty cool.
Good morning, 6 a.m. Monday, Memorial Day. We're starting to make coffee, thinking about getting out of here pretty soon. All right, it's 8:15, Monday morning, Memorial Day, 2018. Debbie's getting things situated down below. We've got all the canvas off. The dinghy's been put up on the bow, deflated. Engine's running, warming up. See Ohana in the distance getting ready. Looks like she's got her engine running. So we're just exiting the Isthmus here. U-boat's taking off. I figured there'd be more. There'll be a big exodus later today. So here's Bird Rock, and you can actually see birds on the rock. This is Ship Rock over here.
Well, I'm steering the boat while Mark is just talking to this camera. I mean, just kind of not doing anything, but whatever. Somebody's got to save our life. Near collision course with Ohana. That was pretty cool.
All right, 9:22 a.m. Still motor sailing off the coast of Catalina. There's Ohana. So we're making pretty decent time. I'm actually running the engine only at 2,200 RPM. So normally cruise closer to 25. We got a little bit of wind, so we're getting a little bit of lift, but not enough to drop the sails. Shipping lanes are a little busier than they have been on my last few trips. Update. Still motor sailing off the coast of Catalina. There's Ohana. Both their sails up. She is running the motor too. 5 a.m. Here's the Super Express bearing down on us at a little under 26 knots. These guys are cruising. Guess we're having beef stew for lunch. Debbie's down in the galley area cooking. Got the gimbal stove in action. She's getting things ready. We're using the pressure cooker for the first time. So it'll be interesting to see how it works out.
Trying to do it as fast as I can without getting sick.
No getting seasick. So amateur hours still in force. Still have people crate and wake, steaming a little close. Finished product here. That looks delicious. All right, this beef stew is the bee's knees. It's perfect. What was the total cooking time in the pressure cooker, would you say?
I would say about 10 minutes. Well, no, 10, 15 minutes.
15. So you kind of browned the meat a little bit and got things going, and then under pressure about 15 minutes or so, and then what? Just turned it off and let it cool down for about 15 or so.
Yeah, and then release the pressure.
And release the pressure, and this beef stew is like the potatoes, carrots, the beef, everything is cooked perfectly. So it's about 10 till 1. I took a little nap while Debbie's been driving us through the shipping lanes. Got a good sized catamaran. 1:15. You still make out Catalina there. Don't see land. We just exited the coastwise shipping lanes. Ohana, Keeldragger.
Keeldragger, this is Ohana.
Got a whale between you and us, off to port a little bit.
Roger that, we'll check it out, thank you. No, I didn't just radio you, but we did see it. We saw briefly we saw the dorsal fin. But I see it. Actually, it's headed south now, we're watching it. It's gone back under, it's come up twice.
Where's it at relative to us?
Directly off of my port stern.
Alright, it's 5 o'clock. Sails are down. We're motoring in. Debbie's getting the sails together. Get everything bundled up. Here's the welcoming committee. That is a huge pod.